So let me come at it from when we dropped in before, what came up for me. It's about the jewelry making. And so when I'm doing it, like it's really, I love being in that space in my studio I've got music playing and I'm creating something. A lot of it's problem solving because I envision what I'm going to make and then I have to figure out how to do it because I don't know how. So a lot of trial and error and then completing it, which is very satisfying. So then there's the part of me that I don't want to put any pressure on myself about production and how much money I make at it, and do I try to take it to a bigger audience, and if so, how do I do that? And so, but that's there.
Right.
So, just trying to stay present with it day to day and allowing it to go where it goes. And still, the entrepreneur in me, who's got decades of experience, wants to commodify it and, monetize it, and knowing that it can't be production of one if I want to take it. So when you were doing the exercise with the umbrella, I was envisioning myself with that. I was like, oh, I like that because, there's a wall or a block or something. And so as I rise above, just for fun, like I was envisioning just like a lot of people wearing my jewelry. And so they're all like waving with their little, jewelry. I was like, yeah, I like that. That's a good image. But I don't know that that's where I should even spend any of my energy. So that's what came up for me.
Okay, fine. So it feels like you have the opportunity to drop into a lot more power and a lot more presence. You are a meditator and a yogi, and making jewelry is a product that you could get confused with versus like with yoga. Why do you do yoga? Because you produce like a thing at the other end you could hand someone or touch. It's for the experience of it, right? How could you ever quantify or tangibilize meditation in a way that other people can understand? You don't do those things for them. And you also don't have a judgment, which I think is the most important thing. Or you do better at not having a judgment about how any of that goes, and you're just in it because it's delicious. So the phase of jewelry that you're at right now is too precarious to begin to think about monetizing, because really what you're doing when you say the entrepreneur that wants to figure out how to monetize is you're kind of like cutting with a knife the whole bottom of it and disemboweling the entire project. It's a little extreme, but I want you to get it because it's that disempowering. I mean, it's just that it just disintegrates right there, everything that you're doing. Right now you're cultivating power. Right now you're inside of a new art form. The art form is for you. The product is almost not even the point. Once you don't give a shit anymore if it goes anywhere or if anybody else likes it, and you're just able to be in that creative flow. Now, you're not going to be able to be that. You're going to care a little bit some of the time when you're not in it. But when you're in your workshop, open up a vortex of just completely, it's just you and the powers that be. It's just you and this piece of silver right now. And you're asking it, what does it want to be? And it's a conversation that you have. Like, you might have a piece of jewelry pop into your awareness, but then when you start to smith on that, whatever it is you're working on, it actually starts to talk to you, and that's where you can engage and listen more. Right? Just like when you're busting out a triangle pose, you're like, wait a minute, my shoulder, oh, there it is. It all opened up. Right? Now I can reach for the heavens the way that I know that my body could do. But it's really a dialogue between your body and the rest of you in yoga, and with the metal or the stones and everything that you're working with the jewelry. Open up into the dialogue of that space. Don't think about the human yet, because that person doesn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, it's like riding waves, because I do that, a few times a week. And when I'm doing that, it's like, I can course correct on a wave so effortlessly, and so I'm completely present and just flying. It's so fun, and I want to be able to bring that to land, but who I am in the water.
Right. Oh, that's so good. So, an obvious one is go straight from the ocean, maybe take a quick shower and go straight into your workshop, right? That's a great combo. And you can really allow for that opening, and it's the attunement and the alignment with you and the power of that wave and, nature, just the whole thing. You're not thinking, what's the person on the beach going to think of me? Not even for a second. That's the equivalent of thinking about who might wear it or how you might sell it. Right now, just create. And I don't mean it from the standpoint that it's going to take you years or whatever to be able to figure out any of that, but it's going to, by thinking about it, you're slowing it down at least 90% over the speed if you just drop in. And because what you first need to create is a sense of mastery. And it's not that you're going to master every style of jewelry and every piece is a masterpiece. It's more about the artistry inside of you and the expression and the attunement and the listening to the piece as it's being formed and the conversation of that whole thing can drop into where you can't be rocked. There's no messing with you. You're just 100% spacious, present, powerful, and in that flow, and nobody can mess with you. Just like on the wave. It doesn't mean you're not going to eat it now and again. That has got nothing to do with it. You might need to scrap a piece of jewelry. That's not failure. That just means you got out there. Right? But if you're overthinking about, if you're into the future about what's this going to look like and how am I going to scale this and it will end up tanking that whole process and you won't catch a single wave in the way that you actually know how. Yeah. And the challenge of it for any artist is this going to actually be something that, like, I kind of need some feeling of monetary flow or some reciprocation or whatever. And fortunately and unfortunately, for whatever it is, no judgment, the path that you're on right now, that I feel like is the right path for you to be exploring, it can't have that conversation. If you want to work on having monetary exchange, put that completely outside of that for now and go do something, 10, 20 hours a week or whatever it is, that's still an amazing art form for you, that you can create that money, so that the money conversation and the jewelry conversation are two separate tracks. They should be like parallel lines, like railroad tracks. There's the right one and the left one, and they don't ever, those two, right? So keep jewelry free of money until jewelry is its own mastery and art form, not necessarily in what you produce, but in the feeling that you have while you're producing it. And have money be a separate thing. And then at some point, the energy of money and the conversation about money and the monetization, and because that's where what the world needs isn't another artist that's feeling like they're caught up in the struggle to survive or like make their earnings off of that, right? There's so much of that story. There's a whole field of that's out there. What we need is somebody that dropped in so deeply and so profoundly without apology and could master the art form of being aligned with themselves and the power that be. And that's where masterpieces are created. And that's where whole new styles are developed and invented. And then when the public is ready for it in a big enough way, massive success. It just takes a bigger leap of faith to get there. Day by day, moment by moment. Ride the wave, make the jewelry. Don't think about the rest. You're welcome.